My husband's mistress is 4 months pregnant, and my mother-in-law is forcing me to sign a divorce agreement to welcome her grandson. I will give you a personal allowance of $27,500 as long as you agree to divorce Zane. After enjoying my meal, I was washing the dishes when I suddenly heard my mother-in-law, Greta Sherman, offered, and my heart suddenly throbbed. I turned my gaze toward my husband, Zane O'Connor, who was sitting in the living room. He was immersed in playing games, as if what his mother said just now had nothing to do with him. Deal. I accept your offer to divorce him. Seeing that I finally gave in and accepted the offer, Zane raised his head and looked at me in surprise. It's better to do it today than to wait for another day, he said excitedly, as if he could not wait any longer. My mother-in-law seemed a bit skeptical. Do you really agree? Yes. I calmly put the dishes back on the table and took off my bib. But I have 2 conditions. What conditions? As long as you agree to divorce, I will agree to any condition you give me, he said with a bright smile. It was the first time I had seen him smile in the half year after I agreed to divorce. Firstly, I don't want the family property, car and savings. But O'Connor family should give me an additional subsidy of $140,000, as well as the personal subsidy of $27,500 your mum just mentioned. Although Zane did not agree immediately, he did not object because I knew that the O'Connor family was more than capable of paying $140,000. Secondly, I want 30% of the company's equity. No way! Before I could finish speaking, Greta could not sit still anymore. This is the company left by Zane's father, and it has nothing to do with you. Why do you want 30% equity? Are you shameless? If it doesn't work, then forget it. Let's just keep dragging it out until Felicia's child becomes an illegitimate child. Zane was so angry that his face dark and said, "You're so cruel. What's the benefit for you? My child has become an illegitimate child." My mother-in-law slapped me in the face and cursed. "You've really shown your true colors. From the beginning, you've always been interested in my family's money. You're such a poor and miserable family. There's no one to support you." She wanted to slap me again. So I slapped her back. "How dare you hit me?" She was shocked seeing that Zane wanted to hit me, but he did not dare. CIH, what a cowardly man. I don't care if you insult me, but I won't let you insult my family. I emphasize these words firmly. I have evidence that your son cheated on me. He is the one at fault. If we go to court, both of the house and the car will be awarded to me. The market value of this house is at least $1.12 million. It will be bad for you if you provoke me. After a moment of silence, Zane said, "All right, how about this? I'll give you another $27,500, a total of $195,000. But I can't give you the company equity. I beg you." He stood between his mother and me, showing a pleading expression. I pretended to think for 2 minutes before saying, "Okay, let's go to the court now." "Sign the agreement first, and I'll go after I get the money," I said. Zane was worried that I would ask him for money in the future, so he added a clause at the end of the agreement from the date of signing of this agreement. The party will no longer have any property disputes and may no longer request the division of any property. I smiled. This was exactly what I wanted. It prevented him from trying to take my money in the future. Before signing, $195,000 would be credited in 3 installments. Immediately after getting the stamp from the court, I strode forward without any hesitation and did not return to that house. Carrying a small bag that I carried with me, I went to the high-end property I had long had my eye on and bought 2 houses, one for self-occupancy and one for rent. The one for self-occupancy was over 200 square meters, with 4 bedrooms and 2 living rooms on a fully furnished large flat level. The one for rent was 80 square meters with 2 bedrooms and 1 living room. I only paid the deposit after all. I had not received the money for winning the lottery yet. On a certain level, I wanted to thank Felicia, even though she is the 3rd person who intervened between me and Zane. But if it were not for her, I would not have bought a lottery ticket, would not have been favored by fate. I won a jackpot of nearly $14 million when I was going through a divorce, and I would still have $11 million in my hand after paying taxes. From that day on, I began planning how to achieve a perfect divorce without Zane's knowledge. I also did not hate Felicia at all anymore. It was marvelous to have money. In addition to spending $2.75 million on the house, I purchased 4 storefronts for investment. I used the remaining money to buy stocks, funds, bonds, and bank deposits, which is enough for me to spend in 3 lifetimes. In total, there were still several hundreds of thousands left in my hand. I went shopping in the mall and bought all those expensive bags. When the manager of the store saw that I spent nearly $140,000 at one time, he immediately treated me as a VIP customer. Not only did he provide pick-up and drop-off services, he also prepared a special lounge for me with professional staff serving me alone throughout the entire process. After 2 months of having fun, I decided to start working again. In just 2 days, I got a job as a clerk in a media company. After I started working, my colleagues liked me very much. In less than a month, I became part of their group, where I often spent break time and lunch with them. Amy was the secretary of the chairman of the media company. She was beautiful and had a good figure. Every time she had lunch, she always shared a large portion with me. She only ate a small portion. One weekend, Amy fell ill and asked me to help find Alan Lincoln to sign an urgent document. You can go directly to his house, and I'll give you the password to open the door. Mr. Lincoln often wears headphones and can't hear the doorbell. Thank you, Bree. I'll treat you tomorrow's dinner. It's okay. I'm free anyway. Take good care of yourself. After printing the documents, I went out wearing a casual sportswear. I took the subway to the boss villa, rang the doorbell twice, but no one answered. So I pressed the password to open the door and went in. In the bathroom, Alan was leaning in the bathtub with his shoulders bare, wearing headphones and closing his eyes to rest. I quickly left the bathroom and called him out Mr. Lincoln twice at the door. Come in. A deep voice rang out from the bathroom. I bravely walked in. Amy is sick today, so she asked me to come here and get your signature, I said, as I handed the document over. After giving his signature, I took the document, excused myself, and was about to leave. However, he suddenly asked, "Do you have anything to do this afternoon? The documents need to be sent back to the company." "The project department is waiting for them," I replied. "You asked the project department to send someone to a resort to get the documents, and you come with me there to attend a dinner party?" I was stunned. "I'm afraid it's not appropriate." Ellen glanced at me and responded, "Wearing this outfit is indeed not appropriate. I'll count it as overtime." Well, since I had never attended any high society dinners, I would just treat it as a way to broaden my horizons. When we arrived at the resort, a special receptionist came to greet us. Seeing me feeling a bit nervous, Ellen patted me on the shoulder and said, "It's just an ordinary dinner event. Don't feel burdened." "Yes," I responded softly. He was a gentle and elegant man. For some reason, he made me blush. The female receptionist was a bit surprised when she saw me dressed in sportswear. She did not show it, and LED me to the place where the female guest stayed to rest, while Alan followed another receptionist to another place. The VIP room was playing light and soothing music, and I was feeling a bit lost. Just as I was about to sit down and play with my mobile phone, someone took the initiative to come over and talk to me. "What are you doing here?" A familiar voice sounded in my ear.